My brother and I would always play a 4-player split screen back in the Halo 2 days on the original Xbox, with a couple of his friends most of the time, and sometimes my friends so he can get an easy win on us, with his old screen peeking ass. But we would always play a variety of maps and modes to keep each match fresh. We would also change up the teams after each match to keep things interesting as well. For some reason though, I always wanted to play the bigger maps, and they never really did, but would, because they liked the maps as well, but a 2v2 match doesn't really work too well on a big team battle map meant for at least 12 to 16 people. When my brother finally bought the 360, he was able to hook it up with an Ethernet cord this time around, because his room back in the original Xbox days was not set up properly to support online gaming. He also bought a year's subscription to Xbox Live and Halo 3, even though the Xbox Live quickly didn't matter to me as my brother made me my own account to stay off of his. Also, that's where my gamertag originates from. It was supposed to be Captain JRS because my brother's gamertag was Captain JTS, but he didn't want me copying him, so he just put Cap JRS instead, which I was mad about at first, but after so many years of people calling me Cap Juniors or Cap, it kinda grew on me. But back to the topic at hand. A few days previous to him making me my first account, I waited for him to leave the house so I could hop on his Xbox and play Halo 3 for the first time. I went straight to multiplayer because I didn't want to mess my brother's progression up on the campaign, and I also had no idea that multiplayer kept track of your stats. After I played a few games of 4v4, I went and played Big Team Battle for the very first time, and the first map I was greeted with was Valhalla. I couldn't even begin to tell you how fun that match was. Let's just say first impressions matter, and I've been playing Big Team Battle ever since, if that's anything to go off of. I love Big Team Battle. It's my personal favorite mode Halo has to offer, with its variety of different large-scale maps that all offer a unique experience because they each utilize the sandbox differently. Not only that, the maps themselves were all different than one another. Not saying they all played good, but each of them offered their own unique look and feel, taking you somewhere new in the Halo universe in each map. Also a variety of game modes to keep the matches fresh. Now fast forward 8 years after Halo 3, where we get Halo 5, the second mainline title in 343's trilogy, and the first game in the franchise did not have Big Team Battle or a social feature at all at launch, excluding Halo CE because it didn't support Xbox Live. And even if it did, it would have still had more content to offer than Halo 5 at launch. And when you think of it like that, it's just kinda sad to say the least. Now you wanna know what I don't get? Getting a Halo game with no social playlist for a whole month. You want to know what else I don't get? When the social modes did finally come to the game, the Big Team Battle portion of the social playlist was only Forge-made maps. But you want to know the best part? Even after all of the post-launch content came to Halo 5, not one developer-made Big Team Battle map was ever made for the game. Imagine this, right? After over a decade of playing Halo and always having developer-made Big Team Battle maps to play since day one, even if I personally never experienced anything more than a 2v2 on the first two games, the fifth main installment in the series launches and it doesn't have any social feature at all. For a month, all you had was 3 Warzone maps, 5 developer-made 4v4 maps, and a few breakout maps made with Forge, in a ranked playlist. With Warzone having its own playlist and dev-made maps, but there was no social playlist at all. Yeah, you could argue Warzone was pretty social, and it was to a point, but a pay-to-win mode will never replace Big Team Battle, and I'm going to get to that in a second though. Imagine if when Halo Infinite launches, they only made developer-made Big Team Battle maps and only had Forge-made 4v4 maps, but on a social playlist only. And a month after the game launched, you finally get a ranked playlist and a ranked 4v4 mode to play. But come to your surprise, they're still the same Forge maps you played in social a month ago when the game was released, with maybe like 3 new Forge maps sprinkled in there. I'll give 343 the benefit of the doubt this time. But after all of the post-launch content finally comes to Halo Infinite, not one developer 4v4 map was ever made. How would that make you feel about buying the next installment after Halo Infinite? You'd probably be hesitant, right? But hey, all I can say is at least you had 4v4 when the game launched this time. But seriously, if that were to happen, that would suck for the competitive community, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would. And that's how I feel with Halo 5 and the social aspect of the game. First impressions matter, and last ones do as well. And 343 is showing me that they didn't care to add any Big Team Battle maps ever to Halo 5. That's one of the countless reasons I don't play Halo 5's matchmaking anymore. At least a month isn't as bad as like 9 months after the game launched to get Infection. Talk about a kick to the nuts, and don't even get me started on Griffball or Forge either. Here's the thing, 343. If you want a Forge-made Big Team Battle playlist and also a developer-made Big Team Battle playlist, or a solid mix of both in a playlist, then that would be fine. With Halo 5 not having any developer-made Big Team Battle maps at all, it became just another thing to add to the laundry list of shit I personally dislike about Halo 5. It was literally a whole part of the community that's been catered to since day one, just tossed to the side and left up to the foragers to make us maps at the end of the day. Talk about lazy, and a huge disservice to all the fans who love big team battles. It was also kind of a missed opportunity because you could have made some pretty cool maps that better utilize the new mechanics Halo 5 had to offer. Don't get me wrong, there were some pretty damn good maps that were made with Forge, but they can never give me that sense of immersion a developer-made map can. I mean, I'm a forager at heart. I love Forge maps, and I love making them even more. I just don't like a whole part of the Halo community left up to the foragers when we have always had developer-made big team battle maps in the past. With game modes like Griffball and Infection, it's fine. Now, would it be cool to see a couple of developer-made maps for those modes as well? Hell yeah. But Big Team Battle offers so many different ways to play each map with a variety of different game modes that can drastically change how you approach each encounter within each play space. There were so many different ways we could have fun with these types of maps, and hell, Big Team Battle maps were some of the funnest maps to play Infection on as well. We need real Big Team Battle maps in Halo Infinite. I told you guys I'd get to Warzone, and I'm not here to disappoint. Warzone is alright, don't get rid of it, because there is definitely potential at Warzone, but nothing will ever replace Big Team Battle for me, because Big Team Battle will always be the most pure sense of fun Halo has to offer in my opinion, with its mix between fun and interesting map designs and a good sense of flow with most of them, but not all of them. Then there was the abundant amount of power weapons to support each player's unique playstyle, and also power-ups for even more variety, as well as equipment in Halo 3. Lastly, the vehicles were a huge part in creating the casual aspect of Halo in general, just allowing you to do whatever you wanted to do, whether that was to be the best Warthog driver, gunner, or pilot, and maybe even being the best person to have the sniper, or guy on the rocket launcher, or Spartan laser. There was always a role that needed to be filled in Big Team Battle, and that's why I personally love Big Team Battle. For me, the thing about Big Team Battle that wins me over from Warzone every time is that in Warzone, each match plays out basically the same. Because the bosses, which can be different each time you play the same map, are scripted for certain times and areas. Personally, this just makes every match kind of blend with one another. Because encounters between you and real players and the AI enemies happen in the same areas in each game. Even if the AI can be different each time, it just isn't enough to keep me coming back. There's just no variety in the gameplay loop. It just feels uninspired. Whereas Big Team Battle is about offering you unique encounters within each map and mode, offering different playstyles for each player, whether that was with the vehicles or power weapons or power-ups, to the layout being different and not offering the same copy and pasted base. Equipped with a buy station to let me use anything within the parts of the sandbox I have unlocked through a monetized system. I mean really, what else do I need to say? Big Team Battle is king and always will be in my eyes. Now what about the Warzone gameplay loop screams fun? Capturing 3 bases and destroying the enemy core to win, or holding like 2 bases and killing all the bosses while you have the enemy spawns locked down to get to 1,000 points to win. While also everybody's just pulling out everything at their disposal from the buy stations. Like yeah, it's fun and all, but it got stale pretty fast for me personally. But I'm a Big Team Battle guy and a forager at heart. Nothing Warzone brought to the table was nearly as fun as the endless amount of fun I've had with Big Team Battle in the past iterations of Halo. Especially fun enough to forget about Big Team Battle altogether and just leave it to the Forge community. At the end of the day, I just want Halo Infinite to be a complete package, with Forge, a working theater mode this time that works with all parts of the game and not just select modes, as well as a file share and the custom games browser. Also, we need a good rewarding customization system and all of the great game modes Halo has to offer day one. Not only that, it needs to be built with competitive and social in mind and not just competitive this time around. I say that because even when Big Team Battle was added, it was arguably more sweaty than 4v4 with certain maps. Nothing against the Forge community, but for me personally, I want real developer-made Big Team Battle maps to play. Also, don't you think it would have been dope to see what the Forgers could have done with real Big Team Battle maps with Halo 5's Forge, since we could use all the Forge pieces on any map? I think not having real Big Team Battle maps was disappointing and a big missed opportunity for many reasons, 343. Anyways, that's enough ranting from me. I just hope they have developer-made maps for the modes that have always had them in Halo Infinite. If you like this vid, don't forget to leave a thumbs up or down. Hell, I don't fucking know. And also subscribe if you haven't already. Or don't. I'm not your fucking mom. I can't tell you what to do, homie.